At the age of 5'9". It's for my boyfriend, who is 19 years younger than me. The test tube gave birth to a son. The nurses in the delivery room looked at me like I was some kind of monster. The ridicule from Old Bang's followers in the family group filled the screen with laughter. But only I know about it. This child is not a miracle of love. He is my last line of defense. My name is Lin Yuan Chu. She's just an ordinary woman from the north. At the age of 40, husband passed away unexpectedly. Not even a single sentence was left for me to read. At that time, my daughter, Xiaoyu, was only 10 years old. Crying heartbreakingly, I hugged her and made a promise to her. Mom will stay by your side throughout her life. No one should marry anyone else. That accident became something special between me and my daughter. A thorn that never comes out of the skin. We had a heated argument over some trivial matter that day. In a fit of anger, I went back to my parents' home. My husband died on the way here to pick me up. When the news arrived, my world has collapsed. Xiaoyu decided from then on that it was my fault for causing his father's death. Those eyes that stared at me contained clear hatred. He no longer gets close to me anymore. Like a small animal that is injured, crouching alone in the corner. During these past 10 years, it's not that no one tried to persuade me to find another option. The neighbor mentioned that one of the teachers is a middle school teacher. Community leaders, the retired cadre who served as a liaison for 2 stations. But I always think of those eyes of Xiaoyi. Eyes filled with fear and hatred. The first year after his father passed away, he has nightmares every night. In dreams, I always call out for Dad. I'm afraid that if something goes wrong and someone is not trustworthy, my daughter will have to suffer once more. I'm even more afraid that this hatred will have no way to change or transform. So I devoted all my thoughts to little Rain, working in the textile factory on a 3-shift system during the day. I will go back in the evening to check his homework for him. I tried my best to be kind to him. Almost humble flattery. I want to melt that thick ice layer away. The day he was admitted to university, I cried all night long, holding the admission letter in my hands. I think these years were worth it. But I forgot. I am also a woman. My daughter graduated from university and is working in the South. The home where they were in love suddenly became empty. On the day of my 16th birthday, I was sitting alone, staring at a small cake on the table, lost in thought. There are noisy programs playing on the TV. The room was so quiet that one could hear one's own heartbeat. Just then, the phone lit up. It's from Zhao Sun. Sister Ling, the sensor light at your house is broken. I'm coming over to fix it now. Zhao Sun is the maintenance worker for the property management company. She is 37 years old, which means she is 19 years younger than me. His wife passed away from illness 3 years ago. No children left behind. People are quite ordinary in appearance. They didn't say much either. But I'm very careful in my work. It's the first time I've been to your house to fix the plumbing fixtures. After finishing the repairs, I also took the time to clean the kitchen. The filter of the sink has been cleaned. That day, he finished repairing the lights. He was stunned when he saw the cake on the table. It's your birthday today, isn't it? I smiled awkwardly. He turned around and went down the stairs.
He came back after 20 minutes.
I'm holding several boxes of prepared food. Time is a bit limited. A few dishes were ordered downstairs. Please don't feel discouraged. That day, we shared out that cake, which was about the size of a palm. He talked about his wife's last days. I talk about all these years of raising my daughter by myself, and that sense of guilt that always accompanies it. Before he left, he suddenly said, "Sister Ning, you look pretty when you smile. Please smile more in the future." My heart seems like a stagnant pool of water. It was thrown into a pit filled with stones. After that, he always tried to find reasons to come to my house. Sometimes it's just a casual check on the heating system. Sometimes it's the property management team who distributes towels. He will remember that I casually mentioned that I have a poor stomach. Next time I come, I will bring a jar of garlic that he has pickled himself. I said that my arthritis got worse because of nourishing the stomach. He didn't know how he got the mugwort. Be careful with your movements, don't touch your knees too much. The daughter heard about the little son for the first time, laughing on the phone. Mom, what are you going to do? They are in a relationship between siblings. The tone is relaxed. It seems like we're just joking around. But when I seriously tell her, I want to be with Xiao's son, her voice immediately became colder. Lin Wenchu, have you gone mad? He is 19 years younger than you. A property maintenance worker. What about the picture? Don't you understand yourself? What about the picture? My hand, which is holding the phone, is trembling. I am a retired female worker. What's there to profit from? House and savings. Mom, please wake up, okay? He's almost like your own son now. It was the first time I argued with my daughter in such a fierce manner. After hanging up the phone, I cried for a long time. Jiao-san sat quietly next to me. I will wait until I have cried enough, then I will speak in late autumn. Or maybe it's better not to do it at all. Don't hurt the relationship between you and your daughter because of me. I'm looking at these men who are much younger than me. In his eyes, there was a tenderness that I hadn't seen in decades. I shook my head and said no. I also want to live my life once again. We secretly obtained the certificate. No celebrations were held, and no one was informed at all. I cooked some dishes at home. Jiao-san saved all his money. A savings account worth 80,000 yuan is in my hands right now. I don't have any particularly outstanding abilities. I also know that this amount of money isn't anything significant. But that's all I have. From now on, everything that belongs to me belongs to you. It seems that relatives and friends really caused a lot of trouble indeed. My cousin acts in a strange way within the family group. These young men of today. They really know how to find shortcuts. An old colleague advised me privately, in late autumn, you must keep the property ownership certificate safe. The most unpleasant thing is my daughter. She flew back overnight. Just throw the marriage certificate onto the coffee table. Pointing at Zhao-san's nose and scolding him. Do you have any shame? I've been living off others' sacrifices for so long that I'm almost like an old woman now. Zhao-san kept his head down, saying nothing. I was so angry that my whole body trembled. You should apologize to Uncle Sun. I'm sorry. You should be the one to apologize. Xiao Yu's eyes were red. You killed my father. Now I've found another such man. What do your relatives and friends think of me? They said my mother was completely immoral. But after that argument, my daughter has never picked up my calls again. And I didn't go back home anymore. Even the news of her marriage, I saw it in my social media circle. In the photo, she is wearing a wedding dress. It's a beautiful smile. I wasn't invited at all. That day, I locked myself in my room. Zhao-san spoke softly outside the door, referring to the late autumn season. If you want to cry, then cry it out. I didn't cry. It was just that I suddenly felt very cold. I used half of half-life to raise them. But she still hates my daughter forever. It seems like it really disappeared. The real blow came last spring. I suddenly needed to be hospitalized due to appendicitis. I called my daughter. It took her 7 times to answer the call. I just said, "Daughter." She then made an excuse saying she had to attend a meeting. I hung up the phone in a hurry. On the day of the surgery, it was Zhao-san who stayed alone outside the operating room. After the anesthesia wears off, I was in so much pain that my whole body trembled. He didn't sleep at all throughout the night. I used cotton swabs to moisten my lips over and over again. After being discharged from the hospital, I haven't been in good health at all. An afternoon in deep autumn, I looked at the calendar. I didn't realize that a few days later would be the anniversary of my ex-husband's death. This day in previous years, no matter how busy he is, little Rain will always accompany me to the cemetery. I hesitated for a long time. Did I dial his number right? Is there anything I can do for you? His voice came through the receiver. It's a bit unclear, ambiguous. The background noise consists of loud chatter and laughter. It's almost the anniversary of your father's death. Can you come back this year? Let's go and see him together. My voice carries the traces of myself within it, careful without realizing it. There was a silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. Then he deliberately lowered his voice. Still clear, but with a hint of annoyance. I've been really busy lately. The project is in a critical stage and we can't leave now. Besides, you've already remarried. What does it have to do with my father? And the compensation that my father received after he passed away back then? Please send it to me, okay? I need to return my apartment soon. My hands were cold as I held the phone in my hands. It feels like something is blocking my throat. That person who once stood in front of my father's grave. The little girl who couldn't stand up because of crying. Now I say these words in a casual manner. Xiaoyi, how can you speak to me like that? I endured many hardships to raise you up. Okay, he interrupted me. You're the one who raised me up. But I will never forget how my father died. Mom, there's a life between us. Do you understand? I also have my own life. Can you please not do this all the time? These actions involve moral coercion against me. Is it me who caused you to give birth to me? There's nothing else to say. I'll hang up now. The sound of the dream is like a thin needle piercing into my eardrum. It flows throughout the body along with the blood. It brings a dull, numb pain. I sat by the window looking outside. The yellow leaves fall one by one. I remember the time when he was 10 years old, and he tightly held onto the corner of my clothes. Crying in front of the tomb, asking for my father's image to be with me again. The way he looked at me at that time. Apart from sadness, I guess that's enough to make someone hate someone else, right? Zhao-san returned from work, seeing my appearance. Nothing was asked. I just silently went to the kitchen and made porridge there. In the evening, he massaged my muscles because I got cold, and the knees that hurt painfully. Be gentle in your movements. In the darkness, he suddenly spoke up. The voice sounds a bit hoarse in the late autumn. Today, I went to repair the street lights in the community. I saw old Lee picking up his grandson after school. The little baby was jumping around happily, holding onto one's grandfather's neck without letting go. He didn't continue speaking, but I understood what was hidden in his words. Desires that were never spoken out loud. This silent and steady man. I also dreamed of having my own children. Having a complete family with shared bloodlines. And what is left for me in this lifetime? My husband died because of me. My daughter sees me as a sinner, devoting all one's efforts. But all that was received were alienation and resentment. The cold gaze of relatives. Criticisms from society. I don't really care about it at all. That can come from one's own flesh and blood. This is based on a sense of alienation and hurt related to the reality of death. It has taken away the last trace of warmth and sense of security in my heart. A crazy idea that has never happened before. Breaking through the cold ground within the icy chest, with traces of almost despair on them. A few days later, I took Xiao-san to the bank. The remaining 400,000 yuan of his father's money. The compensation funds have been transferred to Xiaoyi. Then we headed to the most important place in the city. Well-known reproductive medicine centers. When I told the doctor, we want to try IVF. When you want a child? The young man wearing gold-rimmed glasses. The doctor was completely stunned for half a minute. I repeatedly confirmed my age and medical history. So you are now 59 years old. This is a case of pregnancy in extremely advanced age. The risks are extremely high. The success rate is also extremely low. It's a huge challenge for your body. It could even be life-threatening. Have you really thought it through carefully? I've thought it through carefully. My voice sounded extremely calm. I didn't even notice that the person beside me was looking very pale, trying to dissuade my little grandson from doing it. I bear all the risks myself. I need a child. This is not a momentary impulse, nor is it some miracle of love. when the daughter said, "There is a life between us." The moment he completely cut off all his thoughts. Before I realized I was not only old and without support, he was even destined to carry the burden. The resentment of close relatives when one grows old in loneliness. That thought became my shield for all I could bet. I need a brand new, clean period without it. The blood ties between the shadow of death and original sin. The days to come? It became the worst I've ever experienced in my life. The long, most arduous journey. Ovulation-inducing medication is mine. The body produces various intense reactions such as nausea, dizziness, hot flashes, and emotional fluctuations. It was as if she had been thrown into the deepest part of menopause in an instant. Countless blood tests and ultrasounds to monitor the cold. The nurses of the equipment couldn't hide their astonished gazes. Has become routine. The egg retrieval surgery did not go smoothly. My ovaries are like parched earth. The doctor struggled greatly to remove it. A few of the few eggs. Breeding, screening, and transplantation. Every step feels like walking on the edge of a cliff. Her daughter somehow heard the rumors. He called, no longer indifferent, but complete rage and incredible sharpness. Lin Wanchu, are you crazy? For that man, are you going to die? Gave birth at 59. Aren't you ashamed? Where do you want me to put my face? I absolutely will not acknowledge this. Something inexplicable as a younger brother or sister. This time, I wasn't angry. Nor was she sad. The last soft corner of my heart born from guilt. It hardened completely into stone. I calmly told him, Xiao Yu, this is my decision. My body, my life. I've already wasted time for you. I've been happy for half my life. Now you have no right to interfere in my affairs anymore. After resigning, I lay in bed, almost obsessively following every medical order. Zhao San took a long leave, staying close without leaving his side. When 2 faint lines finally appeared on the pregnancy test, this taciturn man squatted at the bathroom door. Covering his face, his shoulders shook violently. Caring for 10 months is another form of torture. Gestational hypertension and high blood sugar follow one after another. My whole body was swollen. Difficulty breathing. Most of the time, I could only stay in bed. Every prenatal checkup feels like clearing the borders. The doctor's tightly furrowed brow never relaxed. As I touched my increasingly swollen belly, feeling the subtle movements of that little life inside, her heart was filled with cold determination. This child is the shield I traded half my life for. It is my response to a ruthless fate. Cold family affection and that heavy burden. A fierce resistance to guilt. The day of the cesarean section. The relatives group was indeed bustling with activity. The mockery of the old clam and the pig. The provocative, disrespectful elders flooded the screen. I glanced at it and then clicked to exit the group chat. Before the anesthesia takes effect, the last thing I saw was the shadowless lamp in the operating room was cold with light, and Zhao San's pair full of worry, trying hard to give me comforting eyes. Being a son isn't exactly loud, even when faint cries could be heard. I closed my eyes exhausted. There were not many tears of joy. There is only a calm that settles with almost exhausting dust. The nurse held the wrinkled little one and showed it to me. His gaze was complicated. I struggled to lift my finger. He touched her warm little face. She is not the fruit of love. Not even entirely a desire for rebirth. She is my aging body against the whole. The world's indifference and the weapon of betrayal by close kin. I made it for myself. The last shield forged from flesh and blood. From then on, the rest of my life. Even if there was only ridicule and confusion. But I just want to say, having not suffered from others' hardships, do not encourage others to do good deeds. My fiancé broke it with his own hands. My 10 fingernails were severed. Then she cried and told me, it's because he loves me. Everyone used to praise my good fortune. Found a wealthy son-in-law. But only I know. After removing his mask, he was a paranoid monster. I have a fiancé with a great reputation. He has a car and a house. An annual salary of 1 million. Gentle, considerate, and devoted. In everyone's eyes, we are the model of a perfect match for talent and beauty. every gathering. My best friends always enviously held my hand and said, Shanshan, you're really lucky, having such a good boyfriend. But only I know about it. In places where others can't see. Every bruise on my body. All bear the fingerprints of his perfect persona. My name is Meng Shan. She was with Wenyu for 3 years and 8 months. There are only 2 weeks left until our wedding. I chose to break off the engagement. Many people don't understand. Even my parents scolded me for being crazy, but only I know. In those nights where no one else can see, what kind of inhuman torment I endured. Meeting Wenyu, it looks just like an urban romance drama. I was 25 years old then. He is a designer at an advertising company, living an ordinary white-collar job. He is the son of the boss of our partner company. They met at a project celebration banquet. At that time, he was elegant and elegant. He spoke appropriately. There are no rich second-generation playboys. On the contrary, it was for me, an ordinary designer. The work showed genuine appreciation. The pursuit process is romantic and impeccable. Send flowers to the company every day. When my father was ill, use your connections to arrange the best doctors. Less than 3 months. I was completely smitten. When he proposed, reserve an entire restaurant. My favorite white roses are airlifted from abroad. Hidden in the 3-tiered cake is a 3-carat diamond ring. He knelt on one knee. Deep affection and tenderness. Changes after engagement are slow. So slow that I was making excuses for him myself. His concern is named after love, spreading quietly like vines. Watching me work overtime and work hard, he advised me to quit my job, recuperate at home. Notice me chatting a bit more with the opposite sex. He sternly reminded me to keep my distance. He put away all the shorts and skirts in my wardrobe. You can't even leave your shoulder exposed when going out. Later, he often sent people to secretly follow me. At first, this thoughtfulness made me feel very warm. Later, it became more like an invisible ruler. My social dress work, even the phone's contacts, all under his gentle planning. Unconsciously, the boundaries narrowed. His control is like vines winding around a tree. The tighter it gets.
That day,
A few of my best college friends came to visit me. 3 girls and 1 boy. Because she was afraid he would overthink it. So the meeting place was specially chosen, at the mall farthest from him. Just tell him to meet up with female friends. And did not see him for 3 years. We talked so much that we lost ourselves. When I looked at my phone, there have already been 23 missed calls. I just dialed it back. His voice cut in. Where is the iron cold? I casually mentioned a name. There was 3 seconds of silence on the other end of the line. A cold laugh rang out. Meng Shan, you're really something. I've learned to lie. Fear instantly gripped my heart. When I got home, the living room lights weren't on. He sat on the sofa.
he held the custom-made lighter I gave him in his hand.
Each time sparks flared, then extinguished again. I was about to explain. He suddenly stood up, grabbed my wrist tightly. He pulled me to the full-length mirror, forcing me to look at my panicked reflection in the mirror. To meet someone worth lying to me. I struggled to say. She was just afraid he would overthink it. That sentence ignited him. He suddenly threw me to the ground. My back hit the edge of the coffee table. The intense pain made my vision go black. Immediately after, he kicked the defensive midfielder. He grabbed my hair. He looked at me with icy eyes.
Tell me.
Which wild man did you go to meet now? Then came a slap on my face. I stubbornly closed my eyes. No further explanation. Nor did he beg for mercy anymore. After a long while, he might be tired, or maybe she just finds me boring at this moment. He turned and walked toward the study. I leaned on the coffee table and slowly stood up, walked into the bedroom. I didn't turn on the lights. By the faint light outside the window.
He simply packed a few pieces of clothes he usually wore.
There are also a few bank cards for the ID card. I dragged my suitcase toward the door. The moment my hand touched the doorknob, the study door was suddenly flung open. He saw the suitcase in my hand. The anger and coldness on his face instantly collapsed, replaced by an expression that bordered on panic. Shanshan shouted hoarsely. He almost staggered over. He snatched the suitcase. Throw it aside. He knelt down in front of me with a thud. He tightly hugged my legs with both hands. Her raised face was streaked with tears. He was like a completely different person from Zhang Zheng. Don't leave, Shanshan, I'm begging you. He spoke incoherently. His voice trembled violently. I was wrong, I was really wrong. Go ahead and hit me. Please don't leave me. He cupped my face. Forehead pressed against mine. Tears fell onto my face. Hit me. Fight back. I just love you too much. I'm too afraid of losing you the next day. I returned to my parents' home, covered in invisible bruises. Mother saw my pale face. Just think of it as tired. She made soup so I could nourish myself. 2 days later, when you came to my house with gifts, I have Longjing tea for my dad. There was also a cashmere shawl for my mom, he said sincerely. Uncles and aunts. I'll come pick up Shanshan and take her back. A couple of days ago, we had a bit of a conflict. It's my fault. Speaking too bluntly. This made Shanshan angry. I promise I will never let her suffer any more grievances in the future. He kept his posture extremely low. His gaze was clear and open. His father patted him on the shoulder. Young people need to learn to be tolerant of each other. Just break in and get things done. Sometimes Shanshan can be willful. How tolerant you are. My mom also tried to persuade me. Don't be too willful. Also, be more considerate of Xiao Yu. I looked at my parents' graying temples. About him hitting me. I forcibly stuck it in my throat. In the end, I nodded. On the return trip in the car, he held my hand. A solemn promise. There will be no next time. At night, I was alone in the bathroom checking in. The purple-black bruise on his waist. Repeatedly rinsed the skin with warm water. It was as if this could wash away that humiliation and fear. Days are like a lake covered with a thin layer of ice. It seems calm. Underground, however, was biting cold and undercurrents surging beneath the surface. I silently endured everything. Because the courage to leave has been exhausted. Moreover, in the eyes of all my parents, friends, and acquaintances, when you is that flawless, perfect man, he would give me an unlimited black card. It will happen on my father's birthday. A month in advance, I had someone customize it from Jingdasen. A set of blue and white porcelain tea sets that the old man liked. He would also do it when my mother's back pain flared up. Contact a familiar expert immediately. Arrange physical therapy. He even personally drove him off. Every family gathering. He remembers everyone's preferences. And laughed and chatted with joy. Thoughtful and thoughtful. Friends mention him. None failed to envy him. Shanshan, your Wenyu is truly one in a million. A good career and filial and considerate to elders. These benefits are genuine, like carefully polished gemstones. Every facet reflects warm light. I compromised. Gradually, I learned to monitor the situation, maintain a calm expression under the peeking out. Used to phones and cars, location prompts that follow closely behind. As time passed, I even started learning to see bruises appear, skillfully find suitable concealers and clothing. It's like preparing a routine makeup routine. And numb self-convincing. This may be another form of security, an extreme concern. Later, our wedding was put on the agenda. The Wen parents were understanding. He proactively proposed a bride price of 680,000 yuan. Plus, there's a shop in a great location in the city center, written under my name. My parents were overwhelmed with pride. I feel like I found the best home. When you sat next to me, holding my hand tightly, he looked at me with a warm smile at that moment. Under the gratified gazes of all the elders, I nodded. Somewhere in my heart, like a house with its lights out, silence swept through. I told myself, maybe that's fate. At least on the surface, it's glamorous. 2 weeks before the wedding, my long-lost best friend Xiao Yu, he took leave to fly in and keep me company. It felt like we were back in college. Moving through the mall, try on beautiful skirts, chatting about trivial gossip. After shopping, Xiao Yu pulled me aside and said, Go get your manicures done. A bride's nails must be the most beautiful. We found a highly rated nail salon. There weren't many customers in the shop. Soft music was playing. I chose a translucent pink base with a style featuring sparkling rhinestones. The manicurist is a girl with a sweet smile, skilled in technique. Halfway through, he answered a phone call. A troubled expression appeared on his face. It turned out there was an urgent matter at home. You need to go back immediately. He apologized repeatedly. He called in another nail artist from the shop to take over. A young man arrived. Wear clean work clothes. Wearing a mask. She quietly explained that she was also a professional manicurist. Please rest assured. I hesitated for a moment. Looking at the nails that were already halfway done, it also feels like being in an open environment. And there was a close friend nearby. It should be fine. He nodded. The male nail artist was polite and professional. Carefully avoid the completed parts. Start working on the rest of my nails. Just as he picked up my right hand, ready to draw silver thread, the phone screen on my desk suddenly lit up. It was Wenyu's video call. My heart sank sharply. Instinctively, I wanted to hang up, but he was afraid of arousing even more suspicion. His fingertips slid coldly across the answer button. Where is the treasure? Let me see what pretty clothes you bought. Wenyu's smiling face appeared on the screen. On the surface, he was concerned about me. Actually, I knew he was checking on my post. I forced a smile. Point the camera at the nearby shopping bag. Look, Xiaoyu is at the nail salon. He praised casually. The hand looks pretty good. His gaze immediately froze. The smile froze on his face like a mask. Then it peels off bit by bit. Who is doing your manicures? The camera happened to catch a male manicurist. He was holding my finger and pressing it into the diamond. It was the nail artist in the shop. It turned out that one had left with urgent matters. Changed at the last minute. I hurriedly explained. His voice unconsciously tightened. The man's voice suddenly rose. It transmitted through the speakers, with a piercing sharpness. The male nail artist and Xiaoyu nearby were both stunned. He looked at me. Mengshang, go home right away. His face on screen was terrifyingly gloomy. He just did his nails. Very professional. And Xiaoyu was there too. I panicked, wanting to turn the camera to capture Xiaoyu.
He interrupted me when I got home.
The voice was icy cold. There is no room for negotiation. Right now. The screen went black. The warm air in the nail salon seemed to be drained in an instant. I only felt dizzy and a bone-chilling cold. Xiaoyu held my hand worriedly. The male nail artist stood awkwardly in place. I paid in a hurry. He didn't even wait for the nails to be fully done. So he pulled Xiaoyu away. On the way, Xiaoyu tried to comfort me. I was too nervous. Wenyu just cares about me too much. I just watched the rapidly receding street outside the window. Not a word said. I knew a storm was coming. Push open the door. The room was pitch black and deathly silent. Wenyu sat on the living room sofa. He didn't say anything. Just look at me. That gaze made me feel as if I had fallen into an ice cave. Honey, let me explain. I tried to get closer. He suddenly stood up, grabbed my wrist tightly. The force is immense, almost crushing my bones. He dragged me straight toward the bedroom. He threw me onto the bed. He leaned forward closer. His breath was hot and sprayed onto my face. The eyes are covered in bloodshot veins. Monson's wedding was still 2 weeks away. You're so eager to give in. A strange man touches your hand. Enjoying it, huh? Do you just like it this way? His words were dirty and twisted. Every word strikes my heart like a whip. No, I don't. My futile struggle. Fear choked my throat. Without his cold sneer, he suddenly pinned me firmly onto the bed. He completely bound me with the power of his body.
He roughly grabbed my right hand.
He stared intently at the top and still hadn't finished. Nails shimmering with tiny light. It was as if it were some unsightly evidence, he murmured to himself. But the tone was chilling. So this hand was touched by that man, right? I cried and begged him to let me go. He seemed unable to hear. All my attention was focused on my nails. He pressed his thumb hard against me. That tiny diamond on my pinky finger then. He snapped it open. A piercing pain exploded instantly. That was not ordinary pain. It refers to the pain of the nail being forcibly peeled off from the nail bed. That pain that reached the bone. I screamed in pain. His whole body was convulsing. But he seemed to be obsessed with something. I completely took control of that thought. His gaze was hollow and fanatical. He no longer listened to my pleas. Grabbed my right hand, finger after finger. The intense pain made my vision go black at that moment. The pain in his body seemed to retreat far away. Instead, it was a bone-chilling coldness. After the intense pain subsided, it was a deathly clear clarity. Enduring the intense pain, I bandaged my bloodied and mangled hands. That night, he knelt before me once again. Just like after every storm in the past, attempting to mend the rift with confession. As I looked at his trembling shoulders, and those familiar expressions of pain, the last shred in his heart, the fog of self-deception has finally cleared. This man is one. The paranoid maniac disguised as love the next day. I sent him back the 680,000 yuan bride price and the shop documents. Attached is a do not disturb note for wedding cancellations. Faced with her parents' shock and persuasion, I just keep saying our personalities don't match. Marriage is not allowed. Not a word about those dark moments. I canceled the number. I bought a long-distance bus ticket to a small southern town. Time in the small town moves slowly. The river water murmurs gently. I rented an old riverside house. Used the little savings left to settle down. No one here knows me. No one knows about that past. The wound on his finger gradually healed. Occasionally late at night, the nightmare will still strike. I would wake up,
touching my own fingers in the dark.
Listening to the steady sound of running water outside the window. Tell yourself, it's all in the past now.